Welcome. In front of me is a Motorola Moto ThinkPhone 25, and today I will show you a couple tweaks and tricks you can do on this phone. So let's just get straight into this, and I'm going to start off by just opening up settings. In here we can start off with the first option that will be pretty decent, which is personalization. Now in here, this is just like a general section where you can customize a bunch of different things, including more benign things like wallpapers, but moving on to some more interesting ones, for instance like the accent colors that you have right here as an example for these toggles, the colors of the setting icons, the icon shapes, and if you have downloaded some kind of icons themselves, you can change them in here as well. You also have fonts, and the device actually comes out of the box with a bunch of different fonts. Now the reason I'm pointing that out is because if a device has even this section, which there isn't very many of them that do, they usually just have two options. Here we have like an entire list of them, so props to Motorola. Now, scrolling further down, we have additional options for things like fingerprint animations. Now, I don't have one set, but I can still change it. Though when it comes down to the animations, there isn't very many of them. Also, one more thing is when setting up your fingerprint animation, if you set it up and you do have the option to either turn it off or just set it to the most minimalistic one so it's least obnoxious, there is still another factor which isn't shown here, which is the bright glowing light that is going to be in the middle that would illuminate your finger. Now, no matter which option you change to, this won't affect that glow. It's there to basically illuminate your finger so it can clearly see the fingerprint on your finger. Now let's move over to display, and in here we have brightness, or not brightness, the adaptive, not this, sorry, there we go. Sometimes I'm get messed up because some devices have it named not dark theme, but some other things. So in any case, the option that I was actually thinking of was the dark theme. So we have the option to either toggle it on and off from here, and possibly also from your toggles. But if you tap on the text itself, you can see we have schedule option right here. If you click on it, we have two options: custom time or sunset to sunrise. So this will allow you to, for instance, set it up. We would need to change the location settings, so let's allow this. Do I need to still do something? Nope, there we go. So now what will happen with this being enabled, I think we need to keep it like this, is the moment time comes, so when the sun goes down, the device will automatically switch to dark mode. And then again in the morning, it will switch back to light mode, giving you dark theme during the night and light during the day. And those, in my opinion, are kind of the best options, as light mode is clearer to see during the daytime, specifically during summer, while dark mode obviously is just nice so you don't get flashbanged by your own device at night when you're trying to see the time. Now scrolling further down in the display, we have colors. Right under that we have several different options: vivid, radiant, and natural. And I don't know if this is very visible. There is just a little bit of like a reddish tones that shift between, for instance, the vivid and natural. Between the radiant and vivid, I think the biggest difference is in the blue tones that you can see in the sky. But the reason I'm pointing that out right here, what I can see on the camera being like the biggest difference, is because what I see in person while looking on this device is a little bit different. So for instance, between vivid and radiant, the entire device screen gets a warmer tone from vivid to radiant. So it becomes closer to like a yellowish, reddish tones, even the white background, while vivid is more bluish. Now radiant tones it down, kind of like in the middle, and also tones down the colors, which you can see primarily on the camera in reds, but it's not only limited to that, as it tones down the blue as well. And if we also had other colors, I would presume green would be toned down visibly as well. Now, this right here basically will allow you to choose whatever kind of color palette you prefer the most. Vivid mode is usually way too saturated. I personally don't like it. I like natural, which tries to give you a more accurate representation of the colors. While Vivid has some perks, so as an example, if you imagine this phone in a store, the phone that you might be paying attention to the most will be the one that has the most obnoxiously bright, vibrant colors. Hence why Vivid mode exists. But from a day-to-day usage, I find this to be absolutely annoying, and I personally use natural or all the modes that would basically tone down the colors. I like it to be reasonable. I don't like, for instance, fruits to look like they're radioactive. So you can change it to whatever you want. It's completely up to you. But the option is here. Additionally, you also have the option to change the color temperature. Like I mentioned, between these, for instance, Radiant and Vivid, you had the white background changing from like the bluish to reddish tones. You can actually change it yourself. So at the bottom, when you have this scroll wheel or this color wheel, we have also other presets. We have warm, cold, and custom, along with default. Default is smack in the middle of this wheel, trying to imitate what is closest to white. Warm will be closer to yellow, as you can see, yellow reddish kind of in the between. Cold will be bluish, so on the opposite side, and custom just allows me to move it myself, and you can see the entire screen color change. So you can change it to specific tone that you personally prefer. For instance, for reading, you might actually be interested in this kind of very warm look. If you tend to read a lot of books on your phone, this could be a good option right here. But for the purpose of the video, I'm gonna keep it at default. Now, let's move over to the next option, which is the display refresh rate. It's set to auto, but we have two other options. In reality, we technically have one other option. So we have auto, 60, and 120. Now, the reason why I'm saying that there is only really one other option is because auto is a combination of 60 and 120, along with even lower than 60. So when you're not doing anything like right now, the display, I believe, drops to 30 frames to preserve battery life, while when you start scrolling up and down, it snaps instantly to 120 to give you that nice motion clarity and smoothness. Now, if we go back in here, it would kind of mean that auto is also 120, but the difference here is this is permanently running the display at 120. Therefore, it's not giving you the power consumption or benefits or like reductions that the auto does that would drop the refresh rate. This is just permanently running the display at full tilt, wasting energy in places where it doesn't need to, like right here. There's no reason to be displaying this 120 frames of still image, basically. So by selecting it to auto, this will preserve battery life. Now, 60 might actually get you better battery life, if you want to check it out, but personally this will very depend if you see a difference between it and if you're bothered by the difference. I like the smooth motion clarity, the high refresh rate, as it just looks nicer to my eye. Now if you can't see the difference, you can set it to 60 and this will probably get you better battery life. It even kind of says right here, lower battery consumption. So this could be a better option. But because I do see the difference, and the difference is a little bit annoying to me how it looks like, I like to have it on auto. Now, if we scroll further down in here, I'm looking also for something that isn't here, so it must be under system, I presume. No, not system. Where is it? Just gonna search for it. There we go. So it was, oh no, it was gestures and then system navigation. So in here we have our system navigation style. Now I have gestures selected, but you can change that even while going through the setup. And once you do, if you want to change it to something else later on, you can find it, like I said, under gestures and then system navigation. And if we go into the settings, we actually have additional options in here, which I personally really like to utilize. So number one, we have one that I don't really care, which is the left and right edge sensitivity. If you find that your device is sometimes basically going back when you were just trying to maybe swipe the page left to right, then you might want to basically decrease this. This would mean that the sensitivity will be you will need to be more precise to actually activate the back gesture. And you can see when you start swiping, we can see this blue bar. This blue bar defines where your finger needs to start the press and then move outside of it to basically activate the back gesture. So with the lowest one, you can see it takes the smallest amount of space, meaning you need to be really precise about it. Now, because the way I use gesture navigation, I just kind of go from outside of the screen onto it. So I always activate this no problem, and I don't really have much of a problem with this. But if you do, you can change these settings right here. Now, the option that I do like is the navigation bar. So we have show and hide, and you can hide it in here. Basically gets rid of this bar at the bottom, giving you a cleaner look to the device, while still, hopefully, oh, never mind, not retaining the other option, which is still enabled. Oh wait, because that's not this option. Let me quickly check the other one. Is it here? Interesting. So it looks like we don't have circle to search on here, but we do have the assistant. So that's one thing that I like to turn off, as honestly on other devices, maybe not this one, but to some extent also this one, there is plenty of ways to launch assistant. Like, we don't need this many. So, and just to kind of give you an example, so one way would be to hold your power button. Boom, assistant.
For that, you'll need to connect.
No, I don't need to connect to shit.
For that,
assistant.
connect to a Wi-Fi.
Let me just search. That would technically be assistant. Now there is definitely Gemini, or probably would be once I connect to network, but I haven't since I set up this device, so it hasn't gotten the opportunity to download anything, aka Gemini. But that would be another thing that would be shown in here. And another way you can also launch Google, just to kind of showcase this because it is enabled on my device. Okay, Google. So that's another way you can launch it. And you can also have this right here. So I'm pretty sure there is ample amounts of ways for us to launch this damn thing. So this can go piss off, because I genuinely despise when I would be swiping from a corner just in a weird way and I activate the assistant instead of going home. So I personally like to disable this. I actually like to disable a lot of the different things. So also on the power button, I would turn it off because, like, come on, there is plenty of ways to do this. So let's go to, that would be probably also gestures. Gestures and quick launch, no. There we go. Press and hold power button, and you can see it right here. We have digital assistant. Another digital assistant would be a probably better description of it. And we have the power menu. So now when you hold your power button, it actually acts like a power button, like it used to, because it never needed to be freaking changed to this garbage. So that's one thing that you can also do to just remove the amount of crap you have on here. But I want to point out, if you're against Google Assistant Gemini specifically, and you want to get rid of it, I just want you to know, unfortunately, there is no way to do that. So you can literally disable Gemini, because you can't delete it. You can disable it in apps, but when you give it a command, like I did on the phone that I brought up here, it will still launch, which means it's not actually disabled, which means that feature means absolutely shit. And Google basically uses that to spy on you. So it's gonna be there because, God forbid, Google couldn't get data on you. So yeah, just be aware of that. No matter what you do, it's gonna be listening to you. No matter what you try to do to prevent this, there is no way for you to actually have privacy with anything that is considered a smart device. Now, moving on. And here we have also fast flashlight, which is actually a pretty neat feature. So you can shake it to turn on the flashlight. And just to kind of showcase this, there we go. Oh God, that is bright. And I was looking straight at it. So just do like a double chop and, geez, I'm still seeing that flash in my eye. Okay. So you can do this double chop and it will launch your flashlight automatically, which is pretty handy. Now, under settings, we can't really do anything else, change it in any other way. We can turn off the vibration, as when you do the chop and it activates a flashlight, it gives you confirmation with the vibration. I would personally like to have it be launched on, for instance, double pressing of the power button, but not really possible right here. And I'm gonna check one more thing. So it still launches it if the device is locked. So that's pretty good. And there was one more thing in here. Just wanted to check out. I am still seeing the little flash literally just imprinted in my eyesight. Great. Let's see. Where was this? Oh, there we go. Sidebar. Oh, that took me a while to find. So you can actually enable sidebar, which is very similar to what Samsung has and also Huawei devices. I don't know if other devices do as well, but those are the ones that I remember from top of my head. So you can enable this and it brings up this sidebar somewhere. Just go through next. Yes, I know how to use this. It's literally a copy of other ones. Oh, there we go. Now it's actually visible. So you can see it right here on the side. So you can swipe up on it and it will bring up this sidebar, which you can scroll on. This can be accessed even if you're in applications, as you can see. And what you can do is just grab applications from here, drag them out, and as you can see, it now allows me to split screen or open it up. Why didn't it open it up in a pop-up view? Quickly try that again. Oh no, okay, it's full screen, not pop-up view, sorry. So you can do split screen up top or bottom, or just have it open in the full screen application. And you can see it works pretty well. And here you can also swap the positions, I believe. There we go. So it's double tap to do that. It's looking like it's a little bit buggy, as now I have two different pop-ups right here for some reason, but whatever. Might have some kinks to it. So pretty handy option, and you can obviously add or remove applications from here. You can see all the applications as well by clicking on that weird grid icon. Or edit it, there we go. Or edit it by just clicking on the settings. And you can see we can either remove them by clicking on these minuses, or, so you can see, or we can just add additional ones. So pretty handy feature on a device that allows you to just have a quick multitasking access to specific applications. And yeah, highly recommend utilizing that. It's actually a pretty handy option that I myself use very often. But anyway, that about sums it up. So if you found this very helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.